All right, we are officially on air. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for listening to the show. I have to turn up some volumes on my ear. I can't hear anything. Hold on. Okay, so I'm assuming that you can hear me because nothing is saying that you can't. So we're going to go ahead and broadcast right now. Sound is up. Maybe somebody will let me know that they can hear me. Yeah. Okay, so we are live. We are here. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Shout out to everybody that is watching, to everyone that's streaming live right now. We appreciate you so much. So there is so much that we have to say this evening. And the crazy thing about it is not only do we have a lot to say this evening, but there's so much going on right now in the White House. And honestly, nobody can say that they don't know what's going on with the White House. I mean, from scandal after scandal after scandal, there is always something going on. And the reason why that's so scary is because we look to leadership. We look for people who are, doing things for us, and we're making sure that, our leaders that are in place, those in the Senate, the Congress, our president, our vice president, whomever, attorney general, we're hoping that they have our best interest in hand. And as of lately, a lot of people are doubting if that specific situation is going on. Do they really have our best interest in hand? So this evening, this is what we're going to talk about. So be prepared. We are going to talk about fake news. What exactly is fake news? See, my understanding, the fake news that this gentleman that's talking about, your president, is the fake news that's calling him on his stuff. But it's not actually fake news. It's real news. He's just mad that somebody is basically saying what he's doing and how he's doing it. So we have to talk about that because at the end of the day, you are here to do a job, and that job is to protect your citizens. That job is to make sure that we have everything that we need in order to run effectively as a country. Period, point blank. Whether you like someone or not, you have to stand true to your word. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the Mooch. I mean, I know that's a little bit of old news, but we really got to talk about him. What's going on with Sir Moochie? I mean, is he going to try to reconcile with his wife? Is it a situation where he's just all by himself all together? Or is it a situation where we're going to possibly see some kind of surfacing of him, for lack of better words? So that's another thing that we're going to talk about. Also, Tomi Lahren, what a hypocrite. She's the first one talking about scrapping Obamacare, getting rid of Obamacare altogether. Newsflash, people, it is not Obamacare. Let's get that straight. It is not Obamacare. It is the Affordable Care Act. And that act started back in 1993. So at that time, President Obama wasn't even, I don't even know if he wasn't even in the Senate yet. He may have still been in school. But for whatever reason, some people are trying to say, wow, this man created this healthcare act that's been a destruction to everybody. Wrong. This healthcare act has been in place since 1993. Well, it has been introduced in 1993, and President Obama was the only one to be able to get it happening, to get it started. So maybe that's why they called Obamacare, but that really doesn't make sense to me. We're also going to talk about affirmative action. Wow, wow, wow. Coretta Scott King, the late Coretta Scott King, she wrote a letter to Jeff Sessions talking about his racism, talking about, how he doesn't support the people in their state, and how he's just an awful person as a racist. And here we go, full swing. He's in charge of everything. He's the Attorney General. And right now, the Department of Justice is talking about suing historically black colleges and universities if they have proof that they did not allow a non-African American student to attend. Now, I know at Delaware State, it has always been a cultural melting pot. I remember back when I was in school, we had a little bit of everything studying at Delaware State. And I'm pretty sure that most HBCUs did the same thing. But what Jeff Sessions needs to understand and what Jeff Sessions needs to realize is, number one, it's not about the HBCU, who they're accepting. The fact of the matter is, the HBCU, they started back then because we were not allowed to go to your other schools. If it was a white university or college, guess who could not go in? People that look like me. So with that being said, we had no choice but to create schools for black people so that we could get the same education, have the same chances, have the same opportunities as our counterparts, period, point blank. So that's why there was such a huge uproar when Betsy DeVos said, oh, well, HBCUs was the first form of choice school. No, it was not. We didn't have a choice. It would be different if, colleges like Yale and Oxford and, Penn State and, Brigham Young and all that was pouring applications saying, come, black student. We would love for you to come to Mississippi State or wherever it was, Auburn University. We want you to come. And not only do we want you to come to our university, we want you to feel part of the university. We want you to feel like you belong to the university. That never happened. As a matter of fact, not only did it not happen, but if you attempted to go to a white college and you were black, you would actually take it out. As a matter of fact, today is Ruby Bridges' birthday. She's 62 today. And today marks the birth of a woman who went against all odds and has said, I don't care what you say. I am going to go ahead and I'm going to get my education just the same way as these other boys and girls are getting. So with that being said, for people to say affirmative action is wrong, no, you may have been wrong by not giving people an opportunity to get their education because of the color of their skin. That, my friend, is absolutely wrong. We're also going to talk about Eric Trump. What kind of hole did he and his father dig themselves into now? It's so bad, right, that people are Congress is starting to say, we have to have a special hearing. We need a special counsel. And with this special counsel, what they're doing, they are actually dissecting everybody's emails, phone records, text messages, a whole shebang, because they want to know what in the hell happened when they met with that Russian lawyer. So the story that was concocted was, we were trying to meet with a Russian lawyer because, we were trying to frame Hillary. Crickets, right? Exactly. It was a situation where they claimed that they were trying to sabotage Hillary, and they were trying to prove to the world, for lack of better words, that Hillary is crooked and that they had the answer to it because this Russian spy lawyer, for lack of better words, happened to have all the information that they needed. Well, I hate to say this. Exactly. Hello, stupid. Nobody believes you at all. Nobody. Not one person believes you. And the reason why we don't believe you is because your story has changed consistently. Your story has changed more than people change their underwear. Your story has changed more than people even care to, say. So with that being said, that's the reason why you all are being possibly indicted soon. That people said that's the hope. I'm getting text messages. Someone said, wait a minute. Olivia said, they need to just go ahead and just put that whole family in the pokey. That's my word. You can't use the word pokey. Well, I've said it on the show a million times, but basically they're saying that the whole family needs to go down because it's nothing but lies after lies after lies. And it's not cool. It's not cool at all. So we are going to talk about all that. We're also going to talk about addiction, what's going on with that, and the Proctor and Gamble commercial that everybody has a problem with. They even went as far as saying they're going to boycott Proctor and Gamble because they feel that Proctor and Gamble is racist. They feel that Proctor and Gamble should not have made that commercial. We actually, I think we have that commercial that we're going to play for you later on in the show. And they said that commercial makes white people look evil. Well, you may not be the problem. Like, you may not be the actual person that is causing racism issues. You may not be the person that discriminated. You actually might be a super cool person and really have friends that are not looking like you. But unfortunately, the way that the world is set up, there are a lot of people who are still getting discriminated against. People who are still segregated, people who are still being maltreated because of the color of their skin. As a matter of fact, there are Baltimore police officers, as we speak, that are facing charges because they planted drugs in people's cars, people's backyards, all in the name of framing somebody and getting them off the streets. And they actually had nothing to do. They didn't do anything. You said racism doesn't exist? Then how come the lawyer... thank you. In Florida, she's the only black district attorney, and guess what happened? She was profiled as well. So we cannot say discrimination doesn't take place. We cannot say that there's no such thing as racism. We cannot say that colorism, sexism, xenophobism, and all those other things are not existing. What we need to do is figure out how to make it better for everybody. How can we make people feel safe? How can we make people feel like they belong? How can we stop this systemic racism and crap that is going on, that's plaguing our country? I mean, we are, there are some countries that they don't care if you have polka dot stripes. They look at you as a person. But unfortunately, in these United States of America, we have the same problem that we are going through since the 40s, since the 50s, since the 60s. Matter of fact, since they grabbed people out of Africa and dragged them over here. We've had problems since then. So we're going to talk about that as well. So if you notice the hashtag is Russiagate, commercial, email, CNN, ABC, White House. Stop calling journalists fake news givers, and accept the fact that we're doing, one, our job, and two, telling the truth. You know, I remember Trump singing praises about CNN. He thought CNN was the best thing since the cure for syphilis. But now, because CNN is talking about what's going on, thank you for the hearts, now that CNN is telling the truth about what's going on, now all of a sudden, they're fake news. Now all of a sudden, nobody cares about what's being said from these fake news outlets. Well, I have something to say to you. The only thing that's fake right now is your presidency. We'll be right back. You listen to Miss OptimiZm Speaks. We are here Wednesdays at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We will be right back. We're going to listen to a little bit of Michael Jackson. What I want to hear from you is, what are your thoughts? You know, how do you feel about what's going on? I'm trying to see if I can mute myself. I have to mute myself because if not, they'll hear me. Okay.